What's up, everybody? It's Curran. That's Perry. This is your daily camp briefing. Third practice so far, 2023 training camp. And Phil Perry, I think the lead story today is whether or not Matthew Judon is engaged in a hold-in. He's had limited participation the first 2 days. What did he do today?
Really hadn't seen him participate much beyond conditioning work, days 1 and days 2. Day 3 today, he did a little bit more. I would still say he was certainly limited, but he did participate in conditioning. He did do some individual position drills. Then when it started to get to the team periods, he sat out the vast majority of that portion of practice. I had him down for about 5 or 6 team snaps. So to your point, Tom, certainly not a hold in. Doesn't change the fact that what I've been told is he would like his contract adjusted, which he'd get, based on the fact that he's 20th in average annual value on his contract right now. He's a better player than that. He's slowly getting ramped up this first week of training camp is what it looks like.
So the upshot of it is their best defensive player, their most decorated defensive player, wants an adjustment, but it's amicable enough for him to be on the field and taking part of things. Whether that escalates or whether they get that thing rectified, we hope to find out soon. Perhaps we'll speak to Matthew Judon after this briefing, which is taking place right after practice, just before our access to the players. Now, onto the field. Ty Montgomery, running back, who had been real good the first couple of days, he's sidelined. He had a collision yesterday with Terez Hall. He was down. Additionally, Connor McDermott running at the right tackle spot ahead of Riley Reef, who's been bumped down to the backup role. Your take?
Yeah, it's just interesting that at this stage of camp, we're only 3 days in, and the pads aren't even on yet. And so let's leave room for there to be another adjustment to that lineup. But it's been a rough go for Riley Reef through 3 days of practice here, even working against backups. I thought he had a hard time against both Anthony Jennings and Keon White late in the practice, allowed pressures that would have led to sacks on Bailey Zappi. So it looked like, Tom, he was the odds-on favorite to be their right tackle when they signed him in free agency. Not trending in the right direction, safe to say, for Riley Reef.
Overall snapshot of what we saw during practice, it was almost a carbon copy of the Thursday practice. Again, this is an extension of OTAs. The players are in shorts. They are in helmets. They had their shells on, which are the mini shoulder pads instead of just their jerseys. So they amped it up a little bit. Huge crowd on hand today at Gillette Stadium, the biggest practice crowd we've seen so far. Patriots are going to be off on Saturday, back at it on Sunday. My calculations and computations say that they will be practicing in pads on Monday. What did you see during practice from Mac Jones and the offense, given that they did the same stuff?
It's still a struggle to find completions out there. They are still, like you said, working in that red zone area. The windows are still tight, and the Patriots defense, in my opinion, is still good. You know, pass breakups from guys like both Christian Gonzalez, who I thought had a good day, and Jonathan Jones. The best completion of the day was a jump ball back shoulder throw to Hunter Henry and 7-on-7's contested catch. Great chemistry there between Jones and Henry. He also, Tom, I thought this was worthy of note, he had another throw deep in the red zone where he's rolling to his right and throwing back across the green. He had 2 of those yesterday. One was batted down. One was picked off by Kyle Duggar. Today, I felt like he took his time a little bit more. I thought his feet slowed down a little bit more. He was able to find Devontae Parker working along the back end line for a touchdown. Mac Jones gave a little fist pump to himself as he coasted off. It was their last rep of that period. A good sign. You're improving and you're correcting your mistakes from yesterday. You don't want to be an error repeater.
Don't be an error repeater.
That's what we've heard over the years.
You too either. A couple little fellas just went by. He just gave me some lip.
No, he goes, we won't.
Okay. We want to talk about Gonzalez because Bill Belichick did, and he talked about the rookie class as a whole. On Thursday, Belichick mentioned they've had about 50 meetings with these guys. I don't know if he's referring to just this pre-camp period, but they work their asses off, and it must be a little bit of a shock to the system to go from, hey, I was in high school 4 or 5 years ago. Now I'm having 50 meetings, several meetings a day. I'm playing with adults. There's a lot on me. But he's impressed. And honestly, Gonzalez has been, we're going to focus on him and hopefully talk to him, just remarkably efficient. They don't even throw at him most of the time. And it's red zone. There's not a lot of space for these receivers to shake the young kid. But he's on everybody blanketing. Maybe we'll see something different next week when they get away from the red zone. But holy crap.
He got a lot of targets yesterday. He was busy yesterday, less busy today. But I like the fact that he's still 2 days in a row now. He's had his hands on footballs. He's where he's supposed to be. There was a great play for him that I thought led to an incompletion out the back of the end zone. just all over Kendrick Bourne. Kendrick Bourne and Tyquan Thornton, again, very, very quiet today. Devontae Parker, every once in a while, flashes. Juju Smith-Schuster, same deal. That receiver group, by and large, though, very quiet.
Not hearing much from Mike Gesicki either. Point that out, which, again, too early to whap panic buttons, but take a look next week. I do want to allude to the recent drafts, too, because when we talk about Christian Gonzalez and Keon White and Marcus Jones and Jack Jones and et al.
Cole Strange.
Bailey Zappi helps you get a win. Cole Strange. Kyle Duggar, Mike Onwenu, Mac Jones. There's more from that draft. Christian Barmore. They have, since 2020, brought a lot of players into this system after the 2013 to 2019 drought. I guess Phil had a good observation. What can that group do to this team's overall fortunes?
Well, what's interesting to me is based on where they are right now, where everybody's projecting them to be, Vegas has them as a 7.5 win team ahead of this season. How do you exceed those expectations? Because there are a lot of known commodities on this roster. The veteran guys, Matthew Judon, great player, but you know what he is. David Andrews, you know who he is. The way you exceed that win total, the way you surprise people is by really getting elevated performances from these young, relative unknowns. If Kyle Duggar can take that leap to be that Pro Bowl, All-Pro kind of player that he hasn't been quite yet in his career, if some of these rookies can participate and really contribute the way that we think they can early in their careers, that's how you go from, okay, an 8-win team and out of the playoffs to maybe 9 or 10, depending on the contributions these guys give you. And Tom, today, Bill Belichick did say, the rookie class has been a pleasure to work with. That is effusive from Bill Belichick, especially when it comes to young players. You don't usually get that. The entire rookie class, pleasure to work with, but Gonzalez and White in particular have stood out to me early in camp.
We're going to hit on that plenty during Training Camp Central. Of course, we'll have early edition coming up after that. We will hash out the Matthew Judon situation, hopefully give you more intel on whether it's a situation or not. And then, of course, we'll have Boston Sports Tonight. Friday night Boston Sports Tonight is always a barrel of monkeys. Patriots off tomorrow. Don't expect to see any damn videos from the golf course. Bye.